Oh my. Happy Sunday morning. It's raining here. Look, happy Sunday morning.
Happy Sunday morning, people.
Okay, just
Before,
to warn you
wait,
ahead of time, Debbie is multitasking. She
thank
just
you.
got in from Costco. So if we hear a bunch of rumbling, don't kill her. I will do it after
Exactly.
the show. Okay. So good
So,
morning. Mari, I'm glad you're here. Daddy's disappointment, Drea, Aaron, Muggsy, my sweetie. Hi. Um, Oh my God. I don't want to miss anybody because Snuggle Bunny, did I say hi? If I miss people, they think I'm mad about something and I'm not. So I try to grab everybody. Good morning, Terry. Good morning. So I'm not even gonna make you guys wait. I'm going to just tell you how the beef has heated up. So, Debbie, if you want to mute yourself and do what you need to do, or if you want to chime in on this, you're more than welcome to. So, yes, come out your stingy spirits. I didn't even set a goal. Damn it, Drea, hold on. Let me set a goal. I will set a goal. I need everybody to come out their stingy spirits. It's Sunday, damn it. Hold on a second. YouTube beef. I'm just gonna do it now. I'm not even gonna wait to meet your damn goal. Okay, so this morning, you know me. Good morning, Jen. Good morning, damn it, Mandy. So I was up around 4 o'clock this morning. Good morning, Denver. So I went to see, who was live and what did I miss. Good morning, Chantel. So I see Sherelle, Perry, and Donat did a live last night. Okay. The title of Sherelle's live says, Why I'm Suing AT2. He's still lying on Sherelle's World NV. I was like, oh shit. Because remember yesterday I told you guys, Perry said, if you don't talk about me, I won't talk about you. So I guess AT2 did a live. As they said, they were still lying. He was still lying. Didn't watch it. If anybody watched AT2's live, please let me know. You was up with the rooster. Yes, Terry, always. I can't seem to sleep. Thank you, Jen. Thank you for coming out of your stingy spirit. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. So, they went live, and I guess AT2 was on his panel saying that they brought up his molestation when his molestation when he was younger. I watched that live with Donat and Perry. That never came up. What Perry said was his whole family said with the rumors that was going on, they wouldn't put him. They wouldn't put it past him. They didn't talk about him being abused as a young child. Okay, so then I see Siwa Moon's in the chat, and I thought she had me blocked. Um, Mari, you're here. She said that Stephanie was involved with the group chat and that she was causing, and she's nothing but a troublemaker. I guess Stephanie, well, not guess, they said Stephanie was a mod for AT2, and she was on panel, I guess, is what they stated, spewing all kinds of lies, according to what Sherelle and Perry said. So the only Stephanie I know is Stephanie Paralegal. Is that the same one? Because I remember that name. But they don't put out Stephanie's full name, where she works, and I'm like, oh shit. So then, you know, oh, you picked up your puppy. You forgot to send me the picture. High pain like Bane. So Perry goes on, and Donat's up there, and Donat was telling how he met AT2. So you don't know, or Stephanie? Okay, well, Siwa Moon said in the chat that Stephanie was part of a 90-day group chat. The only group chat I know about is the one that caused all these issues last year, and she was causing a whole bunch of trouble. That's what C was said in the chat. You can go look for yourselves. If she got you blocked, you might not see it. So you might need to go incognito or just use another thing. So then they brought up the fact again that the person that started the rumor, AT2 is still friends with. Some lady in the chat said that the Red Solo Cup lady, which would be Yvette, said that it was CP. She said she changed it to CP. I'm going to say it again. When this was told to me, I didn't know it was being told to other people. She never, ever said CP. She said underage. Okay, what's the difference? But anyway, she never told me CP. All right. Now, before all of this came out, I knew about this from back in probably March. It all came out in October. Okay. So I'm looking at all of these comments, and the only Stephanie I knew about was the lady that went by the name of Stephanie Paralegal. Hi, SPL Sharon. So then Donat was saying these doodoo dodo mop, whatever, what in the hell does that mean? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But he said that they were attacking him. So he went to AT2's. They did an interview. He said AT2 was using him to panhandle, and he didn't realize it at first. And then he thought about it. And then AT2's aunt reached out to him, and she's the one that gave him all this information on AT2. I was like, okay. Amber pops up on panel, and she can barely talk. And we know Sherelle has sued Amber and John and Lita. And who else did she sue? And then Lita by herself. I know of three. John and Amber. Then just Amber, because she and John made a deal. Then just Amber. And then John and Lita. That's three. Four. 1, 2, 3. That's three people. So she said she's going to sue him. She's going to take his channel for defamation. He's lying on her mother, which is V. And So Deb came up. I haven't heard So Deb's name since back in the all about the tea days. And he said that he has spoke to Sherelle. He has spoke to AT2. I guess he was trying to be like a mediator. One thing he did say is that when the stuff was said about the parents, even if it was misconstrued, an apology should have come out and said, hey, no, but that never happened. Sherelle is quite upset. I don't know what the doo-doo mamas are or who the hell they are, but he said, Donat said they follow him around from chat to chat and jumps on panels and talks shit about him. So, and then Sherelle said she's suing anybody who's making videos about her. Anybody that's making videos about her. And I don't know, some other lady, I guess the lady that Drea, I didn't watch AT2. So, but they said he didn't apologize. That's what they said. They said he did not apologize. So I don't know. I don't know. But he didn't, according to what was said, he didn't apologize. He's doubling down. So she said she's suing. She's suing AT2. She's going to sue Stephanie, take her license, shut AT2's channel down, and anybody else that's making videos about her. So, yeah, because I don't even know who they were talking about. So they had to go. Anyway, that is what happened last night. I did not watch AT2. I know Amber got up and she basically told him that Sherelle wasn't playing. Um, it's just crazy. It's just really, really crazy. But hopefully they can talk and get this straightened out. But the lives back and forth, it's just going to get worse. I see a JY situation happening all over again. Um, this is crazy. This is crazy. So, but I understand why she's upset, rightfully so. You spoke on her mother. And Drea, if you went to watch that video that I dropped in the chat, it wasn't chopped and screwed. So hopefully they can talk and get this over with. This is crazy. The problem I see is that when you want to sue for slander, you exactly, exactly. And that's the same thing that Cornhole said. They said the same thing in the chat. They said it was freedom of speech, free. Hi, Harlow. And Harlow, did you see my comment in your chat yesterday? 82 is fine. He said last night he's not bothering with them. Okay. No, I don't know him, and I keep saying that. I was telling Debbie after we got off, it was something else that I remember about him. So I don't know, but I read the chat, and everybody was saying the same thing, that he's lying, he's keeping this going, he's using this for clout. So everybody was saying the same. Well, just about everybody was saying the same thing in the chat, except for the two people or the one person that sent super chats saying how great of a person that Donat is. And it's not donut, it's Donat. So, Harlow, I came back in your chat yesterday and you were calling little people the M word. Just so you know, they consider that as derogatory. They like to be known as little people, not MIDGETS. They find that to be very offensive. Just want to let you know. All right. So, I think I caught up with everything. But I just hopefully they can have a conversation and get the because even what's his name? So Deb feels that this is a miscommunication. But if you keep bringing things to the internet, keep going back and forth, people are sending messages, people are uh, clipping things. Is not good. Hi, Ambrius. Thank you very, very much. Yes, I saw the lady going off on Perry's live. That was the one the night before when Donat actually logged into his medical records to show he didn't have, you know, AIDS. Yes. So yes, I did. Debbie, stop dropping. Yes, I did see that, and she was so rude. But she kept saying that she respects Mr. Perry. But the stuff that was coming out of her mouth, people in the chat were telling him to drop her, drop her, drop her, and but he was trying to give her a chance, to say her piece. That's not the way you. Anyway, yes, I did see it. Yes, I did see it. No, I'm just saying, Harlow. That's what they don't like to be called MIDGETS. That to them is like the black person being called the N-word, or someone that's mentally challenged being called the R word. It's just derogatory. That's it. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. So I don't know, but they actually spoke on questioning AT2's sexuality, which I don't think, no. But there were some other things said. Uh, it was just shocking. And from what I gather, and Denat did say that when AT2 came to visit him in California, they went to some place called the Brick, whatever it was. AT2 had a couple of IPs, and he started crying to him about his childhood abuse. Don't know if that happened, but he put it out on the internet. He did that last night. So my understanding is that AT2, I guess, supposedly got mad because Sherelle and Perry had Denat on the channel. But Perry said when Denat was going at them and they weren't getting along, AT2 had Denat on his panel. Jesus. Okay. So Denat seems to be the center of attention. Yeah, AT2 lives in Cali. Yep. So I remember hearing about that. But AT2 does live in California. Um, I used to talk to AT2 all the time. So I know about AT2. And he brought up the fact that he's going to live in his uncle's basement for the rest of his life. So I was like, oh God. Yep, that's what it seems. That's what it seems like. And this is crazy. So that's what's happening. And to me, if you're going to sue, you don't respond. You just let them keep going and do what you have to do. But the back and forth, and then like we talked yesterday, Sherelle's channel is doing great. Her views are great. I just don't think she needs this. Yep. So I just don't think she needs this. All right, Debbie, you have anything to say about all the mess? No? She's muted.
No, I have nothing to say. I am not involved. I don't even know the people you're talking about.
It's just crazy. But anyway, that's what happened on YouTube streets while you were sleeping. Okay? While you were sleeping, that's what happened on the YouTube streets. Then I find out that Sherri Papini, we remember her, right? You know, the one that pretended she was kidnapped by two Mexican women. Hi, honeybee. Debbie, you remember Sherri Papini?
No. Is
All
she
right.
came on?
Hold on a second. Let me just do this. And hopefully by the time we finish this, Debbie is ready to discuss our shows because she
Well,
is.
can you hear me though? Because I've
Yep,
been
I
having
hear you
issues
now.
with audio.
I
Okay.
hear you now. So Sherri Papini is the lady that said she was kidnapped by two Hispanic women. They cut off her hair. They starved her. They branded her. I covered this story when it first happened. And goodness, these streets are hot. Um, I covered this story when it first happened, and I said then that bitch ran away. Okay, I said she ran away. Nothing seemed right. She went out for a jog, never came home, and then 21, 22 days later, she shows up. Okay, I said then she was out fucking. Now, she served some time in prison, a jail, whatever, for the lies. And now she's taken her ex-husband to court because she wants to get custody or visitation of their kids. So here we go.
Are you hoping to get custody back of your children?
This California courtroom, the center of a true crime saga that continues to captivate the nation. A dramatic abduction turned bizarre hoax. Sherri Papini, The mother of two who faked her own violent kidnapping back in 2016, now asking for joint legal and physical custody of her two children.
We're still talking about this case because of the children in this custody battle involved.
Yes, honeybee.
Begging the question, when does a parent get their custodial rights back after such a lie?
She doesn't need her custodial rights back. She doesn't need them back. She put that man and those kids through hell. She was selfish. She thought about herself. Then I found out she had a history of running away. And that's brought up in this too.
Who served 10 months in prison, saying she is a
Yes.
If she served her time in prison, and if she can go through parenting classes and they in the state or the whoever can set up like, you know, a way to prove herself that she can be a good parent again, I don't see why we should be continuing to punish her if her penalty to the state has been met.
But she's still lying, Debbie. Now she's saying she was kidnapped again, which is a lie. The guy did a polygraph and passed it. She's lying again.
Right,
Now,
but polygraphs aren't admissible to court.
No, it's not. But
Again,
I don't think
like-
she needs to be around those kids. That's just my opinion.
No,
It was
and I
really
get it.
traumatic to those kids.
And I get it, but I think like because she served her time, and if she goes through some court-ordered parental classes, and like if her behavior meets their standard and the therapist or the psychologist standard, why punish the kids more? Because that is still their mother.
Yep. I get what you're saying. I do. But those kids are now old enough to say if they want a relationship with her or not. And they don't.
But if they're not old enough to say that, how can you say they don't?
They are old enough to say that.
Oh, they are? And so they don't want a relationship
They
with
don't
her?
want a relationship with her. Now, we don't know if the father has poisoned them or not, but they don't want a relationship with her. So
People change, though. Due to circumstance, people change. I think she should be evaluated. I think it should be like family counseling to determine what's best for the children if they're old enough to state how they want it. Whether or not
I don't know
want
if
a
it
relationship
counts in
with her.
California, though. I know in Maryland, you have to be 12. One's 12, and I think one's 11. But in Maryland, you're 12. Texas, I think, is 12 as well.
Utah is 14 because I know that from Christine Brown.
Okay.
So
Yep.
I
So,
mean-
so let's listen to what she's doing. Oh, damn.
changed woman.
She says she's a changed woman.
Sherri's ex-husband, Keith Papini, who currently has sole custody of their 10 and 12-year-old kids,
10 and
disagrees. He was the first to take the stand.
My position today is that she should not be alone with the children. She harmed her own body to fake a kidnapping.
Keith making shocking new
look how
allegations
he
about Sherri as a
screams.
mom.
My daughter informed me that Sherri was having her smell rubbing alcohol on a daily basis. I found out more things that Sherri had been doing to either create some sort of
Yeah, I think
sickness
supervised
so that
as
she could
well.
take them to the doctor.
Sherri's lawyer arguing that Child Services investigated these claims and could not prove them.
Nope,
She's
they couldn't prove them because he found out after the fact. So how are you going to prove something that had happened way before all of this? Hi, Zelda. So I think he said it himself. She shouldn't be alone with the kids. He didn't say he doesn't want her around them. He said she should not be alone with the kids.
and I think that is fair to reintegrate her of of convicted felon or whatever she was.
Yep,
convicted
she's convicted.
Right. So I think that is fair. I would never want her to be alone with the kids based on her history. But like I said, she needs to go through some sort of court mandated treatment and co-parenting classes to learn how to be a parent, and years of building up her trust again before she's alone with those children.
Hi, Mob Rat Hunter. Good morning. But Debbie, I want you to see what she did to herself. I really want you to see this.
He also criticized Keith as a father. In a June 2024 court filing, Sherri says Keith's actions are self-serving and to the detriment of our children, while my actions are selfless and for the benefit of our children.
So it was selfless of you to fake your own kidnapping, and that benefited your kids. How? How did that benefit your kids? I'm trying to understand, Sherri. I'm trying to, but I knew your ass was lying when I first heard about that case. Here we go.
Pointing to media appearances, including last year's Hulu documentary, Perfect Wife, the mysterious disappearance of Sherri Papini.
Kiss for the camera with sunflower seeds. Mwah.
Today's hearing, just the latest twist in a case that has been likened to a real-life version of Gone Girl.
The case against Sherri Papini was fascinating because it had a missing woman, a race against time, children involved. And it had so many elements just rolled into one that made it must-watch TV.
The saga began back in 2016 when 34-year-old Sherri Papini went out for a jog and didn't return home.
911, what is your emergency? I just got home from work and my wife wasn't there, which is unusual.
In total,
now they thought he did something to his wife until he could prove where he was. They thought this man did something to his wife.
22 days pass with no sign of Sherri. But then on Thanksgiving morning 2016, a trucker finds a woman in distress on the side of the road.
911 emergency, what are you reporting?
Hi, I have an emergency. There's a lady on the side of the road needing help. Her name is Sherri Papini.
You said Panini?
Can I talk to her?
Here.
Listen to this.
Please, Sherri, I need you to listen to me. Listen to me. Do you know where you are?
No. I've been in the car.
She claimed she'd been kidnapped by two Hispanic women. The horror Sherri tells authorities that she lived through is written all over her body, bruises, her hair chopped off. Perhaps most harrowing, branding marks on Sherri's back, which spelled out the word Exodus.
It's like a puppy tail. It's sizzling puppy tail. It hurts so bad.
Rumors that circulated that
my colleague Matt Gutman has spoken to Keith Papini several times. The first back in 2016, shortly after Sherri returned home.
She literally lived through hell.
He thought she lived through hell.
The things she told me that she did. Acting like she was tucking in her kids and she's so strong.
But not long after, Sherri Papini's story begins to unravel, from inconsistencies in what she said happened to her to stories of infidelity and a history of running away, leaving some to question, was all this a hoax? Keith and Sherri went on, trying to rebuild their lives for several years, until 2020, when there was a break in the case. Authorities tell the couple they've identified Sherri's ex-boyfriend, James Reyes, based off of DNA collected from Sherri's clothing.
What is it like sitting in that room? I'm ecstatic. Like we have a lead, we've got him. So I'm very happy in that moment, and then you can quickly see how it turns when they do finally say James Reyes. My body language, you can see I'm starting to scoot away, and it's really hitting me.
Authorities capturing audio from the moments they approached Reyes about Sherri Papini.
We're here regarding Sherri Papini.
I didn't kidnap her. I just... friend in need asked me for help, and that was that.
Reyes told authorities that during those 22 days, she was in his apartment, hitting herself to create bruises and burning herself. In August 2020, they bring Sherri and Keith in to confront her with the truth.
The DNA that was on you belongs to James Reyes.
We talked to him. We've been on a polygraph. It's not an abduction. She asked me to come get her.
No.
I rented a car.
No.
I drove up and picked her up. He passed the polygraph test, Sherri.
He passed the polygraph test.
That's not what happened, what didn't happen, Sherri.
I don't know.
Her husband's right here for a while. There he is.
No, there's no way. It's James. There's no way.
Still lying.
The DNA doesn't lie.
It's my fault that I was...
Husband gone now. He said, fuck this.
Stupid thing to do. I love my husband.
This is what she put her family through. Her mother,
Here's the deal, though.
her husband.
Flirting with other men, not a crime. Lying to me today, yes, a crime.
In March 2022, Sherri Papini was arrested and later pled guilty to lying to a federal officer. Back in the courtroom, Keith and his attorneys arguing that Sherri is continuing to change her story, still claiming she was in fact kidnapped, but pointing the finger at Reyes.
Now she's saying she was kidnapped again, but by James. But that is also a lie. This is literally the same thing she did in 2016.
ABC News tried to reach Reyes and did not hear back.
Sherri Papini's changing of the story does apply very heavily to the custody of her children. It goes towards the idea of the emotional abuse that Keith Papini is arguing in this case.
Sherri hoping to move forward with more time with her children. She currently gets one supervised visit a month. A therapist who treated her testifying that she's changed.
Now this therapist says she's changed, but she's lying. How has she changed?
She has changed. She is actually good at therapy.
The next hearing in the case is slated for May. Sherri expected to take the stand.
This Sherri Papini saga has morphed over the years. This custody dispute for Sherri Papini is an uphill battle and then some.
Now, when I read the article, the kids don't want to see her. They don't want to see her, but they do have one supervised visit a month. So, Debbie, with her still lying, do you think she should be around these kids?
I want to know if the therapist is court appointed or someone that she contacted herself. I would rather a court appointed, non-biased therapist who has dealt with situations like this before, because he could sit down there and say that she's telling the truth and that she's really good at therapy. But what does that mean? That doesn't, like, I don't want a therapist saying that about me. Not with regards to kids. I want, like I said before, court appointed. Period.
Well, she's back in court in May. When that story came across my timeline, I went to read it. I said, are you kidding me? She's still lying. This woman had people looking, but if you remember the woman in Florida, she said she was kidnapped by Armenians. Knew she was lying.
Nationalities, nice.
Yep, knew she was lying. She was sleeping with this young Armenian guy or Ukraine, whatever he was, and her husband. She was trying to get ransom money out of her husband for them. She did this right after that. When I heard it, I said, that bitch ain't going nowhere. I said, she done ran away. Look, she ran away. And that's exactly what happened. And they chopped off. What are two Mexican women going to kidnap you for? And there was never any ransom. Why are two Mexican women kidnapping you? They didn't do anything to you. They didn't sell you into sex trafficking. They did none of that. Why were they kidnapping you when you were at that man's apartment, beating yourself up to make yourself look like you were kidnapped? She branded herself with the word Exodus. Okay? She's crazy. I wouldn't want her around my kids either. Not without supervision. She wants to have half and half custody.
No, she's got to build towards that. She can't like she lost the right to be those kids' mother when she did what she did and was sentenced, right? So now she's got to earn her way back to be deserving of those children. Period.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is that she deserves the chance to earn it. If she fucks it up, she fucks it up. But I think it should be court monitored.
Okay, so that happened in 2016. We're 9 years later. We're in 2025. And they still don't deem her fit to be around her kids if she only sees them once a month. supervised for a couple of hours. Yep, she made an exodus. That's exactly what she did. Teresa, how are you doing? I'm just like, this is crazy for you to try to put these kids through this. Wait till they're older and then have a conversation with them. Don't try to force a relationship that they don't want. It's never going to work. They're going to resent you. They already resent you. They're 10 and 12. Got to remember, 9 years. One was 3. One was a, this shit is crazy. 10 and 12. They were in the news all the time looking for this missing woman that wasn't even missing. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys because I don't think she deserves any type of custody of those kids. That's just my opinion. Supervise, okay. Once a month, okay. Build that relationship. But she's had this for since she's gotten out of prison, jail, prison, whatever. So I wanted to tell you. So Apollo, look, I'm switching now. I'm done with Sherri Papini. She makes me sick. It always amazes me that people actually think they'll get away with this kind of trick. But and then when you find out she had a history of running away, but this time he thought it was different because she always. I blame him too for putting your kids through this with this sick woman. CPS can't prove that she was making the daughter smell rubbing alcohol. Why would a little girl say this? Why? At that young age? Why would she say that? Doesn't make any sense. CPS said that, well, Child Protection said they couldn't prove it. No, you can't, but you can't disprove it either. Because why would she make that up? Why? So, woo, let's get on to our reality. Apollo and Serene have now, they are now officially divorced. They had a mediation on March 11th, and with the mediator, her petition stated that he had emotionally, what is it? Emotionally and psychologically abused her. Okay? Because of all the cheating he was doing. So in mediation, they had her to change it to the marriage is irretrievably broken with no hopes of reconciliation. So they are now officially divorced. The judge signed the agreement. Apollo is single. Phaedra is single. Don't see them getting back together at all. But Shireen had filed for divorce in February. They went before a mediator in March, and it's all done. It's all done. They have no kids together, no property together. It's a done deal. But she said that he had did cruel treatment to her due to his having all of these sexual intercourse with someone else during their marriage. She never mentioned the name. Made me believe he was still fucking around with Phaedra, but then again, no. But she said that he committed adultery multiple times throughout their relationship. So you mean to tell me when you went on Married to Medicine, you want to cop an attitude with Phaedra because Phaedra is dating allegedly a family friend who is for the streets, as you said. Believe that you had sex with him once upon a time, way back when, before you met Apollo, because you introduced him to Apollo. Yeah, you and Apollo were having your own issues, but you just went on there to throw Apollo in Phaedra's face. but you were cheating with Apollo while he was with Phaedra. As I said, however you get them is the way you're going to lose them. But she actually had called the police one time and said that he had physically abused her. And that turned out not to be true. So anyway, Apollo is now free, guys. So if y'all are interested, hit him up. All right, Debbie, who's our first victim?
Oh, I don't know. Who do you want to do first?
Do the Baldwins, since I didn't watch it. Bye, Terry. Okay. Bye, sweetie.
Okay, so for the Baldwins, I almost bailed out within the first 10 minutes because there was a lot of Hilaria. And they did there was a, because he got through the court case and everything, so he's in therapy now. And she was in the therapy with him.
Of course she was.
And she started taking over the therapy session, telling him, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, and how do you feel, and this, and grounding, and all of this like cross-legged nonsense that she's doing. And then like finally the therapist stepped in and said, let's put a pin in that. You are way ahead of him and where he's at mentally. And he then focused to Alec and said, what are you feeling now? What pace is good for you? Like, let's work on you. Like, he should have told her to get up and get out.
Okay, Debbie, I tried.
Yeah.
Okay, I really tried. I don't like her. I don't like her. She's too overbearing. She treats Alec like he is a child. I just don't like her. I just can't get past. I don't know, Debbie, what is wrong with me?
No, it's just, I don't like her either. She is making this a really bad situation the more she talks. And I know, okay, so after that whole scene, there was a scene just with Alec and him talking and expressing his feelings. And he said, this whole situation is kind of triggering for him. He goes into talking about his childhood, 6 of them, 2 parents in the house, money was tight. Him and his older sister, I think he said it was his older sister, or the oldest sister, Beth. Like, they were the 2 oldest, so therefore they had to take on parental roles and help take care of the younger siblings. And his OCD comes from that because he was always cleaning up after the 3 younger boys because they didn't give a shit. They wanted to make their mother happy because, if they could alleviate a burden on her, him and Beth would do it. And his younger brothers did not make that easy. And that has, become how he's handling stressful situations now. It was a window into him and how he is managing the stress. But they were also doing close-ups on his face, and my God, the bags under his eyes.
Yes, those bags are horrible.
And the way how he walks like an old man. They showed oh my God. All right, so when they were going through the trial, or right after the whole situation happened, they were trying to get Alec out of the house. She was putting the kids in the car to go to school or something, so she stops doing that, goes upstairs, change into a hooker outfit to come back downstairs and walk the streets taking a call. And they smuggled Alec into a car to get him out of the apartment building. And she's like, that's why I did it. I didn't do it to seek attention. However, girl, You putting this on here tells me that you was seeking attention, because there could have been other ways that y'all could have smuggled him out of the building. Case closed. But anyway, I was irritated with that section. I was irritated with her at the therapist office. But anything where Alec was alone and talking seemed genuine. At one point, he even said, I only find peace like when I'm alone.
When I'm sleeping.
No, when he's alone.
Oh, I thought he said one time before he's at peace when he's sleeping.
Again, I think he's reiterating that, because he says the kids take him back to his childhood. The noise,
with all the noise,
which triggers the OCD.
Got it, because he does have OCD really bad. You've got 7 kids. What, 11, 9, 8, 6, and 2?
It's 7 with her, 8 in total.
Yeah, 8 in total. Yes.
Right. So, and the thing is, do you know
Ireland is what? She's almost 30 now. So yeah, Ireland. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and do you notice that he always gravitates to the youngest kid because that one don't talk?
Yep. She's the 2-year-old that says she likes to eat worms. And I think she meant gummy worms, right?
I hope she did. I sincerely hope she did. No, it's one younger than that, because those are the 2 that are almost twins, because they're Irish twins. They're real close together in age.
I thought one was 2. It's the little girl that's 2, right?
She's bald-headed. But the one that says she likes to eat worms,
she's a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's 2 that are still 4. They're separated by months.
Okay.
And they call them the twins. But the little boy, that's also 4, he reminds me of Billy. He looked really wicked.
Yeah. So Ireland has a child herself, which is almost 2, and Alec has a child that's 2. That's kind of weird, don't you think?
Well, look,
which that sounds like Mina and Jordan, on 90 Day Fiance. But okay, go ahead.
But I really can't say anything, because my family, like my grandfather, my mother's father, he was her. Okay, her siblings were his 3rd family. So, yeah, I thought it was the 2nd family, but I found out at her funeral that her and her siblings were actually his 3rd family. So there's, and me. Okay, so my father had me very late in life. So my mother is the same age as my uncle. No, my mother's the same age as my cousin.
Oh, Ireland would be on tonight. Okay, I guess I need to watch it then. Okay, I'll watch Ireland tonight. I can't stand Hilaria. I can't stand that woman. But
She ruins every scene. And I think she's making a legal liability here, but that's it.
I read somewhere where Alec said that for the first season, he didn't know what was going on. The producers and Hilaria, whatever her name is, just told him, go here, go there, move here. He said he really had no idea what's going on, which leads me to think there might be a season 2.
But here's the thing, though. I can understand that, because Alec doesn't look there. He doesn't. He looks like he's under doctor's prescriptions, and even if he isn't, he's been through a traumatic experience for several years, worrying about whether he'll be able to support all these children he has. And she's not helping the situation.
Nope, she's not. And so somebody put it in the chat. I saw it. She's steady bringing these cats, knowing full well that he's allergic to cats. That to me is fucked up.
But that's her. I think she's very selfish and self-serving. And even having all of those children seem to me very selfish, because nobody yes, he has the money to take care of them, but he lives job to job to job as a contract worker. He is an actor. And I don't understand why she felt the need to continuously have more children. She was even at one point in one of her talking heads talking about how she had miscarriages and she needed more kids and da-da. What is
That's
your
to get more
problem,
money.
Hilaria?
So what I want to know, the house he has in the Hamptons that he's
Mhm.
had for 40 years,
Yeah.
will that house go to Ireland?
Not necessarily. It depends on when he bought that. It seems like he bought it when he wasn't affiliated with either of his wives. You got
No,
to
but
check the dates.
my question is, he's saying that 5-bedroom apartment they
Mhm.
have in Manhattan, well, Soho, is too
Mhm.
small. Okay.
Mhm.
But you have all these kids, plus you have 2 nannies. And I don't
Mhm.
know if the nannies live there or not, but you've got 5 bedrooms and 7 fucking kids.
Yeah. So,
So are the boys all in one room? I know the oldest has her own room. So the mom and
in
dad,
the
the oldest, and then you have 3 other bedrooms. So I'm thinking the other kids are in there with bunk beds because you have to have rooms for your nannies, unless they just
not if
don't
they're
sleep there.
not if the nannies might not be sleep-in nannies. The nannies might come during the day and leave after their shift. Um, 5 bedrooms is enough for 7 children.
He says it's
They
too
will
small,
double up.
but you
Well,
have 4
according
cats and 2 dogs.
well, if he thinks back to when he was a kid, he had to double up with his siblings. So it's more than enough. But he's talking as if he's a rich gentleman, and he is. But a 5 bedroom
Well, that child took
apartment
a
in
lot of
New
money.
York
Them
City,
lawyers cost him a lot of money, Debbie.
huh?
Those lawyers cost him a lot of money.
Right, but his rich man mentality is still going to be there. And that's why he's saying 5 bedrooms is small for his 7 children. However, if you think about it, 5 bedrooms in New York City, he must have bought 2 apartments side by side and then did a reno project, because that's impossible.
Okay.
If he
Okay.
had a brownstone, I like how Sonia Morgan had, then I would understand 5 bedrooms. But apartments, co-ops, no. He would have had to buy 2 and get permission to bust through and do renovations to get 5 bedrooms. So he's just talking like a rich white man. I told her too, she already had 4 kids and was having issue conceiving again. Yes, she could have stopped there and appreciated what she had, but she had to have more. Again, I find Hilaria, thank you, Ryan, very selfish. Very
Yeah,
selfish.
she
And
is
it
very
comes across
selfish.
every episode.
So what about her taking the kids to the court? I remember talking about it when he was going to trial. They were very upset, and she took the youngest ones to court, the ones that caused all the issues.
Yeah. She again, all eyes must be on her, and she knows how to do it. I would say that she would have taken the kids to the court to get sympathy, to show that this man has young children that he has to take care of, because that's why they told Rihanna to take her children to court, right?
Yeah.
But this is Hilaria. This is not Rihanna. This is Hilaria, and I feel, this is my opinion, that was self-serving on her part. It really was. And then she's talking about how she this was so detrimental to Carmen. Carmen's the oldest kid, and she feels like, she plays a maternal role with her
Yeah,
younger
she's too
sibling.
grown for her age. She's 11, and she acts like she's in her fucking 20s. I don't like little girls like that. I just don't.
But Hilaria has her that way. And yet she's saying that this was traumatic to Carmen, taking her to the court thing. Then why the fuck are you taking her there? It just doesn't make any sense how she behaves. And then she's like, oh, I want to do a family outing. I want to do a family outing, with the kids and Alec. And she's talking about these farm to table places out in the Hamptons, which is all great. We're going to go and do a cooking class. Awesome. It's wide out in the open, and then they're gonna start complaining about paparazzi. There was no other place for y'all to go and do this. Could have been done inside. They was making pizzas, for Christ's sake. Again, very self-serving. And I feel, I honestly, look, this is really coming across as she trying to kill Alec to collect an insurance policy at this point.
So I definitely want, oh God, I can't stand that woman. I'm sorry. She's insufferable. I just can't. You know who she reminds me of? Every time, oh my God, what, and I compared her to somebody earlier today. Oh, she reminds me of Kris Jenner. She has to insert herself in everything. Nobody can have a conversation without her being on the screen. And it's hard to get her off the screen. Like I was telling you, I had watched the Kardashians didn't realize I've never watched them. And I'm watching Kris Kardashian when Kim Kardashian goes and she's going for the Playboy thing, which she lied to her daughter and said you wouldn't have to take your clothes off. And she went to get her makeup done because she always dreamt of being in Playboy magazine. I'm like, she has to be in every freaking scene. You can't have just a conversation without her coming and propping her ass right there. Okay, that's who she reminds me of. But I wanted to ask you guys about this YouTuber. His name is Eric Conover. He's the guy that take people around to look at luxury apartments and stuff, or luxury properties. Did you guys see he just had to go to court for attempted murder for trying to run over a police officer? But he's saying, a New York one at that, but he's saying that they have him mixed up with another Eric Conover. Have you guys heard about that? Did you hear about that, Debbie?
No.
Because he was arrested last week, and it wasn't connected to that. It was a separate drunk driving charge, and now they're connecting him to trying to run over a Bartlett police officer with this Jeep. So my question is, if they got you confused with another Eric Conover, does that Eric Conover have a Jeep too with the same license plate number?
Officer, hold on, let me see.
His name is Eric Conover, Conover.
No, YouTuber tried to run over and kill police officer.
Yep, he's got almost 3 million subscribers.
Oh. The Conway Daily Sun, The Complex, lawandcrime.com. Let's see this one. This is the first one to come up.
Carmen already feels she needs to protect siblings because parents are unreliable. Yes, she's 11 years old, though.
But
and you see her nails?
Yeah. But isn't it break from school?
You can because they were in the Hamptons for
right.
I think it was summer vacation or something. Yeah.
Yeah. During the summer, like my mother used to let me play around with like nail polish and hair, like hair spray color and stuff like that in the summer. But when it came time for school, no.
Girl, you know her nails always look like that. Come on now. She's just a little too grown for me. She is. She's not a little girl. She needs to be in a little girl. I understand that her dad is, he was a big Hollywood, but you are too mature for 11. Just your conversations, just the way come on, stay in a little girl's place, please.
But I really think that is Hilaria's point, because Hilaria is the primary caregiver. I don't think Alec would condone that kind of talk based on his Catholic upbringing with his parents. But Hilaria has a more liberal, loosey-goosey thing. And I think it was Ryan who said, doesn't she have any friends her own age? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
She has made Carmen her good girlfriend.
You think, girl, that was the love of his life. And for him to say on camera, he's never loved anyone as much as he loves Hilaria, man, don't lie. You would eat Kim Basinger's dirty drawers if she gave them to you. He was head over for that woman. Hi, Chris. He was head over heels. But she left him because of the drinking and the drugging, specifically cocaine. That's why she left him. And I remember they split a couple of times and they kept getting back together. The last one was the last. That was it. She had had enough. He had gone to rehab and everything else. So I just feel that this show, if it's coming back for a season 2, they have to do better because I'm not impressed. And there wasn't enough about the trial because that trial went on for a while with all the different motions. It didn't go on long. What was it? 2 episodes about the trial. That's it.
Well, I wouldn't show too much about the trial. I would have done this. I would have picked this up right after the trial. And I would have followed Alec on his mental health journey and eliminated Hilaria altogether. I would have had her like a nanny in the background with them kids running around. I wouldn't have allowed her to speak.
I would love to talk to those nannies. Hey, how do you deal with this bullshit? Is there anything else about the Baldwins? Because I just can't do it. I told you I can't. I tried. Those kids get on my nerves. I just want to reach through the screen and throw them one at a time across the room because they really get on my nerves. I can't. I can't have kids that are that out of control. I just can't.
Okay, here's something interesting. Okay. So him and Kim were married for almost 9 years, 1993 to 2002. He bought that Hamptons home in 1995. So it was during their
when he was married to Kim. Yes.
Ooh, how did he?
He's had it for 40 years.
When did she buy that town in Georgia that went bankrupt?
I don't know. But I remember when they were going through their divorce, his brothers were all on Kim Basinger's side.
Well, they were all cokeheads too, so.
Yeah, but they said that she was the best thing. And, he's been linked with a lot of Hollywood women. But they're saying that she was the best thing that he ever had.
Oh, she bought it in 1990. So she bought it before she got with him. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. But don't forget, they got married, but they had been together for quite some time before they got married.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So, my God. I really want to look more at this Eric Conover thing. I really do, because if that's the case, you've got 2 Erics with a Jeep with the same damn license plate numbers. All right. Are we ready? Are we ready to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay. So I told you guys last week that it was a big party for Shamia. Everybody came over. They had a blow up. You have Kenya there. You have Cynthia Bailey there as friends of the show. And everybody was going after Drew because they were saying that Drew was taking advantage of Portia because she is a spokesperson for Go Naked Hair. But they were saying she was sneaking around with Dennis. So Shamia came right out and asked her, "Are you fucking Dennis?" I was like, God damn. So then, she goes, "Let's all go get some cake," because Portia told her in the beginning of this week's episode that she was a dirty, low down. Portia said, wait a minute, of all people, Portia said that Drew is a dirty, low down. Remember, Portia took that woman's husband.
But we all know why Portia was upset.
Uh-huh.
But they
So
ain't had nothing to do with Hot Dog. Well, it sort of has something to do with Hot Dog Man, but not Drew sleeping with him.
no. So so she was 3 hours late getting to Shamia's party. Shamia got a Rolls Royce from her husband. Everybody was excited about it. So, but here's the thing. So when we go this week, okay, remember when Portia met with Kenya to talk? It showed, when Kenya pulled up in her Rolls Royce, it said purchase
Mhm.
in 2022. Portia shows up in her Rolls Royce and it says gifted by Simon in 2022. I think they
Mhm.
threw shade at Portia on that one.
They did because they were supposed to be able to film in that house. And then the court order blocked them from doing it. So, what did they do with Portia in episode 1? Film her around the corner pretending to exercise.
Uh-huh.
Now,
She
this
was running.
episode, they
Yep.
they put down that little snarky shit, gifted, because I think the car is part of the legal issue now too.
Yeah, because Simon was supposed to have taken that Rolls Royce, but she got it
Mhm.
back because it was a gift. Now, what she's upset with Drew about is she's saying that Drew is trying to get Dennis to fill, because she asked him, could she break the third wall? They said, go ahead. She's upset because Drew is trying to get Dennis to film, as she said, her show with Dennis with another housewife. Drew wants Dennis to film with her. That's fucked up.
It is. I don't understand what she is doing with music and him. Um, I mean, what's your name? Portia said that he did a
He
kitty
did an
album for
album.
the
Well,
little
he did
girl.
something for her daughter. That was kids' music.
Right. But that doesn't make him a record producer, though. Or wait, or does it? I don't know. In Atlanta,
He's
you
not a
could be
record
in.
producer. But she said that that Dennis had spoke to her and, god damn, what's Drew's husband name again?
Ralph.
Ralph. And he was trying to get them back together.
I don't believe that. That's
But
right.
did you hear when she was talking to Kenya that she is the fifth wife?
Yeah. Yes. Who would want to be the fifth wife? The fourth wife? The third wife? Only
Well,
a
I
second
thought he
wife.
had only been married like 3 times. She's the fifth wife.
Yeah, because one of the marriages was fraudulent. So she's still counting it.
So she's still counted as 4, but fifth wife?
Mm-hmm.
And then she said when they were on the jet, that he was explaining to, girl, what?
But again, this is what happens when you marry somebody that you don't know. She had no business marrying Simon. First of all, he was somebody else's spouse when they got together. He was still in a marriage. Mind you, they were separated, yes, but he was still in a marriage. The relationship was too rushed. And then she says something in a talking head about how I knew that he was the one, because when I
Me
wrote
too,
my book
honeybee.
talking about all of this trauma and toxicity, he said he will always have me, or something like that. Really? What? Uh, uh, she makes no sense. No sense. And let me tell you, Bravo and the production company really did her dirty, because she has come back to this season thinking that she is basically the head bitch in charge on this show. And even the promotional picture, they did her wrong. They got her sitting down. She is not the center focus of that photo. It is Shamia. Shamia is towering over her and leaning further forward than her. When you look at that picture, your eyes automatically go to Shamia. And that tells me that Shamia is the head bitch in charge and not Portia.
When you look at that photo shoot, you're absolutely right that they did for this season. Your eyes go to even though Portia is in the center, right? But your eyes go to Shamia.
But
Now,
they have
this
Portia
lady
sitting down, and they have her pitch. It's an optical illusion, but Portia is recessed back, and Shamia is standing and pushed forward. It is really weird what they've done to them.
So my whole thing is this with now this lady Britt. Oh, wait a minute, we're not finished. So they're saying that Drew and Dennis looked booed up in a club, and that they were holding hands and they were wearing matching outfits.
Yeah.
And then they showed the picture. I think it's a little more. When Portia told her, I don't care if you fucking him or not, that's on you. My problem is, I was like, God damn.
I don't know. Were they wearing the same outfit?
It was the same color. I didn't see it was matching.
I don't know. I didn't care.
So that means that Kenya, I just read a comment. So Kenya is not going to be on the whole season?
No. And I think they edited out a lot of her stuff, because basically she's like, in last week's show, she went to Drew's place and she was just asking a few questions, but receiving information. This week she was, and she was also at the party, but she wasn't really jumping into the brawl.
No, only thing she said, her and Cynthia both. I call them messy old hens. But I just read where they say that when she disappears this season, what happened? Why isn't she on the whole season? I don't like Kenya more.
Right, but because she had that incident at her Kenya Moore hair spa.
Yeah, but isn't that lady Britt the one that she was saying?
Yes. She put up the pictures and everything focused at Britt.
Yes.
So they edited out her and she had been trying for 2 seasons now to get them to promote her hair care salon. And she finally got it on, and she fucked it up. And so now they have edited her out. They've given her a couple of episodes at the beginning, but she will eventually fade away as punishment for what she did.
Oh my God, Chris, you're watching Beauty in Black. Oh my God, Chris, look, I'm going to just tell y'all now, Horace bet not die. Okay, Debbie, if you have, I'm not a Tyler Perry fan. I love some of Medea's movies. I'm not a big Tyler Perry thing, except for the movie where she put him in a tub and left him in there for days because he cheated on her. But other than that, Beauty in Black is the shit. I am telling you, Beauty in Black is the shit, Debbie. You need to watch. I think it's all a total of 16 episodes now, because they did the first 8, and then they did part 2 with the last 8. Horace is the man. That mofo is fine as shit, and I love me some Horace. And you got Debbie Allen in. Is it Debbie Allen or Debbie Reynolds, whatever her name is?
Debbie Reynolds is dead.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Debbie Allen with the dimples, not the other Debbie Allen. The little short black one with the dimples and the cheeks. Yeah, she's in there too. She plays Horace's ex-wife, and she's the mother of to his two sons. That shit is good. So anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We were talking about. I just happened to glance, and Chris said he's watching it. Uh, It is good. It is good. I'm glad he left the Oprah network and started doing his own shit. Now, Britt is the one that's married to the guy named Mike. What does Mike do? She said she had an insurance company. Mike became her client, and then he kept FaceTiming her. Do we know what Mike does?
Hold on, I have no idea, Shady Boots, but here's the thing though. They don't seem like they are husband and wife.
No, they don't.
Well, look, she seems very affectionate towards him, but him to her, it's like he's almost scornful. I don't know. And like she's talking about having babies and IVF, and do they
Yes.
want to have their baby in that house or in her dream house? Like, what's wrong with the house that they're in? It's huge.
So Mike has a teenager, she said.
Yes, a
I think
boy.
he's 15, she said.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But she wants her mom to move in with them.
They don't got enough room in that house?
But her mom is already there, and her mom is in a room next to them.
They don't have a different room that they can
That's
put
what
her
I'm
in?
saying. I'm trying to figure out who the fuck Britt is, besides the fact she has an insurance company.
I don't know. Well, remember remember what Kenya got in trouble for saying about this young lady. She does other things besides sell insurance.
Like what?
Like intimate pleasures for pay. Because there were photos of her with hot dogs in her mouth at the grand opening of a hair salon.
Thing. Yes, yes. So how did she meet Mike? And what does Mike do?
She said that they went to Vegas or something. It wasn't how they met, but like they went to Vegas and then they got married during the pandemic.
Yeah, but by Zoom call, she said he invited her to go to Vegas. She said yes, but they weren't sleeping together. They had so much fun in Vegas. I'm like, okay, that's still not telling me what Mike does.
I don't think we'll ever know what Mike does besides sit at that kitchen counter.
Now, when Drew and Angela is married to Charles Oakley. He's the ex NBA player.
I like him.
I like him too.
Shady as fuck. I like him.
I like him. Now, Angela, was the girl sitting at the counter her sister or her oldest daughter? Because there are two other little kids that I think belong to Charles Oakley.
I don't know why I'm thinking that lady that with the braids was her daughter.
I'm thinking it's her daughter as well. First I looked, I said, no, not the sister. Probably her oldest daughter from a previous relationship. I don't know who Angela is. I'm trying to get to know her. I already think that she's a little shallow. But Kenya went and asked Britt if she was married, because Britt just had on the ring. She said it was her second, or it was her second year anniversary ring, whatever it was. And Kenya looked at the ring and she was kind of pissed off that I want to know what Mike does. And I need to figure out, because he be buying all kinds of shit. I want to know what Mike does. But when
Mike
they went to the
next Apollo, Mike is going to be the next Apollo going to jail.
But what I want to know is when they went to that gym And they were talking, Shamia came and Drew's there, and she said that Shamia and Portia had been in a group chat for years. Why would you consider, as you say, she's your friend, why would you consider her a lapdog for Portia? And if you look up the word lapdog, there's a picture of Shamia there. Why would you say that about your friend?
Well,
that's some shady shit.
This is Drew we talking about?
Yes.
Drew is on a struggle bus trying to keep a paycheck on this show. Period.
And then she said that Ralph is burning through a lot of her money and, he wants child support. Girl, she didn't think
she has allowed that.
Yep, and she thinks that her music should be in a different place than where it's at now. And Dennis has been a godsend. Girl.
But here's the thing, though. Once you legally separate and file for divorce, isn't there a severing of finances? So what the fuck is she talking about?
I don't know, but he's down in the basement. You remember when?
But he's suing her now for saying that he's in the basement.
Yeah, but do you remember when Ralph went away that weekend and he went down to Florida when he said, you remember that when he went down there? I said then he was with a man or a woman, but yeah,
But he went to Tampa and was watching her on the cameras at home. And
Drew is not innocent. Drew is not innocent. She was screwing some guy in Chicago.
What?
Hello.
They had an open barrage?
Hello. But Dennis just got tired of it. Yep. Dennis got tired of it.
You mean
now
Ralph
Dennis is a writer, right? He's a writer or he's an art. He's something.
He was supposed to have written a book on what it is to be a step parent. And did it ever come out?
Because he was promoting it.
He was promoting it, but was it ever released?
Oh, I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know.
Ralph was basically living off of Drew, and Drew allowed it. And that man did not care about her first son. He was only concerned about his biological children.
And that's it.
He should have been concerned about that when she was marrying him.
Now, the woman that has the waffle and chicken business. This is the one that said her marriage. I forgot. What is her name?
Oh, shit.
She said
but
her
I like
marriage.
her, though. I like her. The chicken and waffle lady.
Yeah. She said that her husband closed her thing. She had to move out of the space. He stole $500,000 from the business, and she had resulted to sleeping in her closet for just because it had actually turned physical.
Yeah.
Now, for some reason, I kind of remember that story that came out when she first auditioned for the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
The chicken and waffle lady is Kelly. Thank you, T-Love.
Yeah, Kelly.
I like her.
Yeah, I like Kelly too. Yeah, I like Kelly as well. But to me, Kelly comes off like, okay, I get it. You're meeting. This is the one that said, why Portia took that girl, man?
Yes, and that's why I like her.
So, when hearing about her, now her little dog, girl, why she dyed that dog hair? You see the color of that dog?
I was shocked at first. I was.
I was like, what the fuck was that? And then I said, oh, I thought it was a shirt. No, that dog is dyed.
It looked cute. I liked it.
Girl, but it was good. I enjoyed it. So you got to know more about her. She's got the 4 daughters. 3 of them belong to him, and then one she had before they got together. But I need to find out who the fuck was she married to, because I kind of recognize her. I don't know why I recognize her. I don't know if she made an appearance on another show like Love and Hip. I don't know. Atlanta, I don't, but I recognize her. I need to find Kelly and see where she came from. So then we saw Portia and Dennis at the plaything with Polaire. That little girl is so cute. And Portia's trying to talk to him, and Dennis is telling him that, well, Dennis is telling Portia that he thought Drew had talked to him, and what Drew is telling Portia is not what Dennis is saying. I think Drew and Dennis are lying. But Portia gets upset, goes in the bathroom. She starts crying, saying Dennis isn't worth her tears, because she's telling Dennis she doesn't want him to film with Drew on her show. He said he thought it would be good advertisement.
Well, listen, you notice what she said on her show. She really thought she was coming back.
She said that twice on her show.
Yep.
So then we see them later when she's driving off in a Rolls Royce that Simon gifted her, with Dennis in the car. Now, Dennis got there after them. Why was Dennis? Well, maybe she was taking him to his car. Who knows? Or maybe he Ubered there. Girl, they were going at it in that car.
But we never saw them physically in the car. The windows were kind of dark.
No, I saw Dennis in the car. When she pulled up and stopped, Dennis was in the passenger seat. She goes, "Why am I parked here?" She goes, "Why did I stop here?" And they were fussing in the car with Polaire in the back seat. Dennis was in that car.
When is Fei showing up? Fei is coming in after the midway point. And from what they're saying, this is going to be a short season, y'all. And I think they're still editing.
Yeah, and the bad thing is that Dennis did film with Drew. But she already told him if he films with her, it won't be good.
Right, but
he's already done it.
This is all payback for Portia for fucking up, not being able to film in the house and getting Bravo dragged into her legal mess.
Ooh.
This is all payback on Portia.
So
because remember,
Dennis will be a part of Drew's storyline. I think it's more than just him working on her music.
But here's the thing also, Bravo and the production company have a beef with Portia, because remember when she first got into bed with Simon, she ran away from RHOA, and they never got all of those dirty details. So they're pissed at her.
Ralph in the basement? Oh shit, I gotta check that out. But Ralph isn't happy, but he is suing her right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot you mentioned it. I did see it. He's suing her.
Yeah. He told
and he said if she comes down to the basement, he will have her arrested.
Yep. And in the car, the talk between them, and Dennis was telling her, the mic is hot right now. She go, "Oh, so you a professional now?"
Yep. Yep, he did. She was mad.
Portia does not care.
No, but my thing is that little girl was in the back seat and she's able to understand. Why would you put your child through that? And I'm like, why is Dennis in her car?
Did that with Portia.
Look, I'm like, why is Dennis in her car? Dennis came after they did. So when she's basically threatening him, if you do this, you're going to jeopardize your relationship with your daughter. That's what I got out of that. She's going to hold that little girl over his head, except for he's already did it.
Well, he would just take her to court and ask Bravo, to ask his lawyer to subpoena the evidence from Bravo, period.
Probably so. Probably so, but I can't wait for Phaedra. I really, really can't wait for Phaedra.
She ain't gonna bring all of that to this. She cannot. Like they thought she was gonna rescue Married to Medicine. She didn't. They brought her back on here. She's not going to rescue this.
No, it's not about rescuing. I want to see what's going, because I really think Phaedra still has a thing for Apollo, and Apollo has a thing for Phaedra. I know Phaedra was involved in the shit that he was doing, but he never, ever ratted her out. Ever. And I'm thinking it's because of their sons. Phaedra knew what Apollo was doing. You can't tell me she did not. Apollo had no job, man. Apollo had no job. It's just the fact that he went to jail or prison that was embarrassing for her. Remember, she lied about how far along, when she first came on the show, when she was pregnant. That girl told me she don't know how long, child. I don't know. I just know I'm going to have a baby. That means you were pregnant before your ass got married, and you don't want your mama to know. I saw her on Dubai. Hi, Kendra. I love me some Phaedra. Debbie thinks that Phaedra has somebody to write her reads. Hell no. Phaedra will read you.
I think
Nene had someone. She had her gay friends to write her shit.
They all
Phaedra
grew.
drops that shit just like that. She don't know what's coming.
Phaedra is an attorney, and she is well rehearsed.
I like Phaedra. I need to catch up on the last episode of Married to Medicine. I've just had a fucked up week. But Atlanta to me has already started out good. Just like Potomac started out and held my attention. OC held my attention this season. Salt Lake City held my attention. Beverly Hills, I think it's 2 more episodes? Because we're already on episode 16.
For Beverly Hills, it's finishing already?
We're on episode 16. Well, 17 now.
Oh my God.
That's how good it's been. I think it's how many episodes? Oh, you saw Nene's new talk show started this week and watched the first It was horrendously. Oh, damn, it was terrible.
It was, because she had Carlos King on there. Ugh.
Why Carlos King?
Because she opened up saying, he's returning the favor. Apparently she was on his thing, and so he came on hers. And it was just an ass-kissing fest.
Girl, I started watching Funky Dineva on TikTok. Woo! I got to go hear what Michelle Atlin has to say, because I guess they're going at it again.
They will always go at it. But Michelle has the photos of what he did to her rental property.
Yep, she said she had him. I remember when they were going out, when she was trying to get him out. Girl, that shit was funny as hell to me.
And she's still waiting to know where her washing machine is.
Yep, and where her money at. Okay, then she said, I even told him, forget about the money, just get out. Girl, I was weak. But then he was going on this press junket tour and all the bloggers, I was rolling. Yeah, I don't like Carlos King either. I don't.
He was a bit annoying.
I don't. So I'm trying to think, is there anything else about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
What else? I'm holding back my judgment on this season, because these first 2 episodes we were getting reacquainted with the older cast that were returning, yes, and getting to learn the new cast that has come on board this season. I like Kelly, Angela. Oh, they did her dirty in the first episode with her wig trying to escape her head.
Girl, that wig, that glue was coming up. But whole thing is
her husband is the star of that coupledom, not her.
Yeah, but my whole thing with this is, but he was even telling her that it was lifting up. Girl, I was weak.
Yeah, he told her, go to the bathroom and fix that.
I was weak. Charles Oakley is too much. But I'm trying to understand, why is Kenya on here? Because they kicked her off after that shit with Britt. Why is she back?
I think she's not back. I think that they are just giving her a couple of episodes because she was okay up until she pulled that stunt. So they're giving her a few episodes to because I'm not even sure how, if she was fired or if she was put on pause. I don't know if she has any litigation against her for false termination. I'm not sure what's going on. I think these are breadcrumbs that they're giving her for the time that she spent filming, and that's it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know one of them is going to talk to her about Brooklyn's dad. Now he is living in Atlanta now.
Yes. He sold off everything. He's still in debt. He's moved down to Atlanta to be a closer pain in her butt.
Well, we'll see. But yeah. I am excited about Atlanta. I'm going to see. I'm excited about Atlanta. Hello, Highway 20 Skinny. Fix your wig, bitch. Hi, how are you? But I am dying to see where this is going. But I already see the break in the relationship with Shamia and Portia. And I think it is because of the fact that Shamia is showing off her wealth, but Portia already knew about that wealth. Drew already knew about her wealth. Not everybody else is seeing it. I think that may be the issue. What?
I'm just looking at Honeybee's comment.
What did Honeybee
oh my
say?
God, fix your wig, B.
Oh
And
yeah, I
him
saw that.
in the kitchen. Him in the kitchen. He does not hesitate to call Angela out. Angela was there going, "Oh, how you going with your getting into business with your ex?" And he's like, "Girl, really? You? Uh-huh." And called her out because she did apparently the same thing.
Okay, so we have that. I wanted to play that thing that Portia did on IG when she's talking about Shamia. She is not too happy about Shamia at all.
Nope.
Yeah, I think she took it.
But
Well, maybe it was in her stories because it came across. Yeah, it was in her stories. But this is bad because their relationship is never going to be the same. And then you have all these busybodies that are getting involved with her relationship.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that friendship between Portia and Shamia was that good to begin with for it to crumble so quickly.
It was, as long as nobody saw Portia's wealth. I mean, Shamia's wealth. It was great. It was great. And now everybody sees the money that Shamia has.
It was also good when Shamia was a friend of, but not even listed as a friend of on the show.
Yep,
Remember,
she was just
like she would show up, but she was never listed as a friend of, like Marlo Hampton was.
Yeah, and Marlo left.
Because Marlo should have never transitioned to a peach holder. She was good as a friend of.
Yep. But she said she had worked so long to get that peach, and then she got it, and she really didn't want it.
Yep.
Because she had to do more filming.
Exactly. And she had to be open and honest about what was
Yep.
going on around her. And she doesn't like to be open and honest about what's going on around her.
But we all know that Shamia doesn't need that peach. Shamia doesn't need that money.
Mm-hmm.
And Portia has brand deals. She's really, I mean, she's everywhere. But you have busybodies that's going to come between that relationship. And she said they're not as close as they used to be. But if you've got these friends, and even Shamia said when the season first started, she's got friends that don't get along. So how do you bring all these people? Think about all these people that are on the show now that are actually Shamia's friends, not Portia's friends.
Well, Portia got isolated, and
Yep.
Portia doesn't know how to be a friend either. So there you
Nope.
go.
So we will see. But I know you watched Balin. I didn't finish it. Do you want to discuss Balin now?
Well, it's the same thing that I said a couple of weeks ago. Basically, he had to change the spot from the beach to inside because the weather was bad. He got an event planner to help him set up an arch with some flowers on the floor. He
Yeah, I
got
saw
the mother
that.
and father. Huh?
Yeah, I saw that when he proposed.
That was the last episode that was there.
Oh, I thought we missed one from this last Monday. I'm sorry. Okay.
I didn't see that was the last episode that was on Discovery Plus for me. Was there another episode after that?
No, yes, there is.
Oh, I didn't see it. Oh well, fuck that.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it later then. Anything? Oh my God, Jaguar Wright. Is she working a construction site? Anyway, I just this is crazy, but I want to discuss Big U, and I'm gonna do that during the week because I'm trying to pull the indictment paperwork for Big U, you know, out of Los Angeles that got charged with RICO, and his includes murder. Uh, Unlike Diddy, you know, he's suspected of crimes. This mofo was accused of murder. So, okay, Balin is. Oh, I thought I saw something on Max about Balin. Okay, they're done. So maybe I watched something that I hadn't seen. I didn't pay attention. Well, okay, Balin is over. Jay and Pamela cute. I like them. Who's Jay and Pamela? Okay, what am
The
I missing?
little people, the newest little people.
Yeah, oh my God. They're on TikTok too. They're funny as hell. I need to watch them. I watch part of the first one, but Jay and Pamela, they're on TikTok, and I watch them all the time on TikTok. They are funny. He said that she's the dominant one in a relationship. Girl, I be rolling. So anyway, wait a minute. Let me just respond to this. All right. So anyway, I was trying to think, Debbie, I need to do Married to Medicine, probably do that Wednesday to close them out. And when does Sister Wives come back?
The 20th of April.
Damn, they're on a long hiatus. So are we going to be in 2025 now?
Yes, because we're going to get 9 more episodes, 5 of the regular season, one of which will be dedicated to Garrison, and then 4 tell-alls.
Girl, they got all these shootings in hip hop, in his hip hop right now, rap, whatever you want to call it. As long as they don't touch Kendrick, we're good. All right. I don't know if George is still going live today. I know George said he was going to go live on Rumble. Yep, but I need to watch the last episode of Married to Medicine. So then I can watch the reunion, which I'll watch tomorrow. But I missed the last episode, and that's what I need to watch. Oh, let me just say, The Good Family, it's on Hulu. And for some reason, I don't have Hulu.
You should get it on Black Friday because then you
But
get
I
it for
have
99 cents.
Paramount. Wait a minute. I have Paramount on the other TV. And I thought since it was all a package that I had Hulu, but I don't. So I need to see.
Send Kayla a text. You might have it. Send Kayla a text and ask her if you have Hulu. She'll
Well, I
send me
know
the
my
text.
son probably has it, so I'll send him a text. But I
Mm.
don't, and I know I used to watch The Handmaid's Tale. That was on Hulu.
Mm.
So I
You
don't
have it on
know.
your phone, maybe?
No, I wouldn't watch shit on my
Mm.
phone like that. All them
No.
episodes. No, so I have to see. Matter of fact, I haven't talked to Miss Kayla in about a month. Oh my God. She must be really busy not to talk to me. But anyway, I'm going to do that. I will send her a message. I will, because I know I used to watch The Handmaid's Tale, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to watch The Handmaid's Tale, and that was on Hulu. So the Pope has left the hospital.
Yay.
We know he's doing good, and well, they're saying he's doing slightly better. I was trying to see if who's going live right now so I can tell you guys. I know Jenna probably do a live later on, but that's about it. That's about it.
Mm.
Debbie, anything else? Yep, that's coming back in April. Okay. Anything else, Debbie?
No.
Now, if there's any more, that's gonna oh, it is becoming real. Now, if there's any more YouTube stuff, that's I don't know. I might do another live. I might do a members only because I really want to play some of it so you guys can hear for yourself. But this is crazy. But I think in all fairness, I need to go listen to AT2 side because I've only listened to what was said on Sherelle and Perry and Donat side. So I need to go listen to AT2 side as well. But I know something that was said that wasn't true. They never spoke about him being M as a kid the other night. So that I know for a fact. Um and they buried Lil Ronnie and his daughter. They buried them, um, which I watched some of it, and they were buried in the same casket. She was laying on his chest. So, yep, I watched some of that on TikTok. But anyway, anything else, Debbie?
No.
Nah? All right.
Yeah.
Guys, have a good let me say thank you. Because I know we got super chats. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I need to say thank you. Why is it taking so long? Thank you to Jen and Ambrias for the super chats. I really appreciate it. And you guys didn't come out your stingy heart. So I'm going to be like FBS. If you guys don't pay me for my service, I'm going to shut down my channel and I won't come back. How's that sound, Debbie?
It
That's
was
what
nice talking with all of you. You can all come and watch me on the commentary zone since this channel will not be coming back, apparently.
That's what he says. I heard Grumpy play that, and I'm like, I was told that he would say that to his chat, but I heard it for myself. He goes, if you guys don't start donating, I provide a service. And it's like going to a movie or going to a roast. And if you guys don't start contributing to the channel, I will shut it down or go on members only. Girl, I was weak. Yeah, stingy spirits. You know what? I can't remember what it is. So I said, oh my God, he actually says that. But people would say, I didn't believe it, but I heard it with my own ears. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to pull that one out my butt too. All right, guys, I got to go. Debbie, always a pleasure. And we're heading out of here. Any last look? Anything you want to say to the congregation before we leave?
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, guys. Bye.